Well, we're finally here with our summer forecast for 2022. You guys have been asking for this video like crazy, so I figured I have to give it to you guys. We're going to be going over today the precipitation forecast, the temperature forecast, and the overall forecast, just like old times. And I hope you guys are excited for this one, just like I am. So let's get straight into things. We're taking a look here at our precipitation anomalies, and there's nothing on the screen yet, but we do a new format here since we have that we really haven't done it this way in years. But I draw on the screen now, and this is actually a screen recording, so I'm going to be able to point out to areas on the map instead of the old way, which was just a slideshow with a photo of the map, basically. Let's add our first frame here, and this is going to be our precipitation. So we have above average precipitation expected here for the southeastern corner of the United States, as well as the south central United States area through here. So for all of these areas, we expect above average precipitation. Now I want you guys to keep in mind one thing as we're walking through this precipitation forecast. Really, a single tropical system could completely disrupt this forecast. Let's say you average 5 inches of precipitation in the month of June. This is just a really random example, or better yet, August is going to be a better example. Let's say you average 5 inches of precipitation in the month of August, and you get hit with a hurricane. Let's say you live in this region and you get hit by a hurricane or a tropical storm. All of a sudden, you're nearly guaranteed to be well above average as far as precipitation is concerned, because that tropical system hit. I cannot forecast a tropical system hitting or not hitting this far out, so we can only make educated guesses, taking into account that anomalies are going to happen clearly. Now, we do have above average precipitation expected here for the Gulf of Mexico in general and the entire coast of the Gulf of Mexico as well as the southeast coast, but this is not really taking into account tropical activity too much. This is mostly just the pattern we're going to be in. I think I expect a lot of Gulf moisture to flow in, and this is going to create some storminess for a lot of these areas. As these warmer, more humid air masses move through. This is just kind of the expectations. Now, as we add our next layer here, we can see that we're expecting below average precipitation here for the western corner, or the western half here, or maybe the fourth of the nation. This is going to be for California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, Washington. All of these areas I expect more dry conditions. Both the Jamstack and the CFS model have both of these features, the above average precipitation in the southeast and the below average precipitation here in the western fourth. Usually when those two models, long-term models, agree, it means they're onto something, for sure. But overall, having more dry conditions out here would be continuing a trend that we've already been seeing since a very long time. Let's go ahead and move on and add our next layer here. And as you can see, we're expecting even more below normal precipitation. This time around, we're looking at the kind of central regions here of the plains, even in through the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes, and then even up into the northeastern region of the United States as well. We're expecting below average precipitation for all of these areas. So I kind of do expect some suppression at times, kind of maybe a high pressure that really just blocks out the precipitation, and that's why we see surrounding that area a lot of precipitation, because it's kind of shielded away from that particular area. Obviously, when you're talking about a 3-month period, June, July, and August in this case, everywhere is going to get precipitation. It's just if you're going to get less or more, you probably average like 15 inches or more of precipitation over the 3-month period of the summertime, depending on where you're at. About 5 to 15 inches is usually going to be what somebody averages as far as precipitation over the summer month, or over the summer months, the 3-month period there. You're going to get a good chunk of that. It's more about, are you going to get less than expected or more than expected? And this is what we're talking about here. Now, we do expect an area here for the plains, a little bit of the plains, and also the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes, where we do actually anticipate even further below normal precipitation. That's going to be particularly for that darker brown region up there. And this is just an area, again, where these models are trending at not being a very frequent storm track throughout the summer months. I would say what's most notable here is that this area in particular does seem to see a lot of severe weather oftentimes in the summer months. And hopefully this below normal precipitation will lead towards a lessening of those severe events up there in the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. We can only hope, of course, right? But this is the area where we typically see a lot of that summer severe weather. So hopefully this will deter a lot of that from taking place. All right, now for the temperature forecast here, we're starting out with above normal precipitation here in the western United States. In general, I expect very warm temperatures to kind of take place for a majority here of the western and central United States. Usually you're looking at either the east or the west having the most warm conditions, over in a seasonal or a long-term forecast in general. And this time around, it does just appear that the West is going to have warmer than normal conditions. And before anybody calls me biased or anything, I get a lot of comments like that. I kind of am hoping for warmer than normal conditions here in Virginia, but you're going to see that that is not my forecast. So I'm going against what I want to happen here, but I'm actually just using my brain and everything that I know and using the modeled guidance in addition to my knowledge and making a forecast based on those things. And everything is leaning towards just warmer and drier here in the western United States as a whole. So I really feel like that's going to be what ends up taking place. Now, as we add another layer here, you can see I expect even further above normal temperatures for this darker orange region. I really just anticipate warmer than normal conditions out west and more dry, which is obviously pretty counterproductive for a lot of the issues that we're having here, especially in the Southwest as far as water is concerned. Very, very dry and very warm is not necessarily what you want to see, but it's just what is in the forecast. It appears to be the most likely scenario here, unfortunately. So we're going to be tracking that situation. I'm going to try to start making monthly forecasts for you guys again. I know you guys have been missing these hand-drawn maps. I've been seeing the comments all the time. But it's just really hard when I'm making daily videos about the weather events. And even just yesterday, I said, oh, we'll take a look at this tomorrow. Well, when I do this, we can't. So it kind of messes up my flow of things, but I understand that there is a big need and a big desire for me to make these videos. So I have to get it out to you guys. I understand that. So that's why I'm doing this today. Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit here. Above normal temperatures in the west. Let's take a look at the east here because we do expect below normal temperatures in this lighter blue region. This is going to be slightly below normal, all of these blue areas. And in general, it's going to be summer, When we're talking about below normal temperatures in the summer, you're talking about 85 versus 87 or 83 versus 87. So it's not going to be cold. It's not going to even be cool or temperate. It's going to be hot still. It's just going to be slightly less hot. And it's not going to be like that every day. You're still going to have heat waves. You're still going to have upper 90s at times. It's just when you take the grand scheme of that 90-day period that is summertime, it might come out colder than what is typical for that 90-day period. When you take the mean average temperature of that entire 90-day period, I'm expecting it to be a little bit less than what is normal. That is all this means. Now, for the overall forecast, I know you guys have also missed this. This is just something that I used to do frequently. I don't even know what my last long-term forecast was. Maybe like a November forecast or a December forecast. So it's easily been 5 or 6 months. I've missed doing it too. It actually got me kind of excited when I thought about making this video, and I'm glad I'm doing it for you guys. We're going to start out here in the Northwest. We expect more dry conditions. You saw this on the precipitation forecast. Just more dry than what is normal, and it is pretty unfortunate. Now for the Southwest here, we expect dry and hot. So it's actually going to be a little bit hotter down there in the Southwest than the Northwest. That's pretty self-explanatory, but it's going to be equally as dry, it appears. Now near normal for the Four Corner states, maybe warmer than normal if anything, but it is going to be pretty typical. And even if you are drier and warmer than normal, it's usually very dry and very hot there. So it's not going to feel nearly, as different as if that type of a situation happened in the Northeast. If you have a below normal, temperature summer in the Northeast, you're going to feel it a lot more than you would in southern Arizona. Because, 95 versus 100 isn't, you don't feel that. You don't feel that difference. But perhaps 80, 78 or 80 versus 85, you feel that a little bit more, I feel like. Makes a bigger difference. Now, as we work our way a little bit further eastward and northward here, we see warmer for the Rockies, so a little bit warmer there, but not necessarily going to be quite as dry as the surrounding western regions there. A cooler summer in general is expected for the north central and the Great Lakes in the Ohio Valley. That's kind of what I'm expecting in general, a little bit cooler, a little bit less stormy as well, a little bit more dry is what you can anticipate for those regions. As we work our way further south, we see more stormy there for Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas as well. And then as we work our way eastward to the darker green region, it's going to be even more stormy and humid than that lighter green area. And that is really where we expect bad storms and pretty frequent storms. We've even been seeing that lately for this area. And just really humid, because I do expect, again, this air to really head up just like this. So I do expect quite frequent air masses that are very, very humid and bring storminess with them to move across from the Gulf of Mexico just like that. And then for this northeastern region, even though we're expecting below normal temperatures, I wanted to remind you guys, still hot and humid. Even though we're expecting below normal temperatures, again, it's still going to be hot, it's still going to be humid, it's still going to feel like summer. That can be what you anticipate. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we're moving down from our typical 4 out of 6 to a 3 out of 6 because this is a long-range forecast. So I think that's pretty obvious that is going to be a little bit of a lower confidence situation than me just talking about next week. But it is pretty high confidence for a long-range forecast because we are moving close. And it just seems like a simple setup, honestly, this upcoming summer. But I'll update you guys on the long-range pattern if it does appear like anything else is going to be taking place. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons: Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Larry LePan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also thank our diamond patrons: Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Kudalesa, Catbite, Charles Finnett, Bill Dallas, Gary's, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also like to thank our channel members: Catbite, Stephen Van, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.